Louisiana versus all y'all. Jarrett Roser with senior quarterback Jonathan Dartez of the Vermilion Catholic Eagles back in a state championship game for the first time or the second time in the last 3 years, looking for that first state championship since 2013. And the Eagles have been fantastic throughout Jonathan's career and looking to complete a mission that has been kind of a singular focus for those guys this year. We'll talk about all of that, including a familiar matchup awaiting them in the Dome and Ouachita Christian. And John, man, appreciate you taking some time on a Sunday to chat about all of it. Congrats on making it back to the Dome. How does it feel to be getting back to this point? And how much are y'all looking forward to this opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, it's always awesome to come back here, come back to the Dome. All the good memories I had last year. I mean, not last year, my sophomore year. I remember like walking into the Dome, and just like touching the turf and everything, and just like thinking of all the players who played on that field, who played in that stadium, and just being a chance, being able to play in that stadium. It's very exciting.
What was it like you talk about it some with just sort of soaking in that experience and touching the turf and everything. What do you remember about what it was like to walk into there as someone that knows you're about to play on that field and sort of the atmosphere, the excitement there, the big lights and all those things, what that was like to walk into and how it can help you guys, your senior group that was a part of that a couple years ago, as y'all go back and have that experience under your belts, as well as what you can kind of tell the younger guys in terms of what to expect?
Yeah, I mean, like I remember when I walked in the first time, I was kind of in awe of how big it was. I mean, I went there one time to watch the Saints game, but like I was in the top decks, so like being at the bottom, is a really big difference, to how big it was. The lights were a lot brighter than I thought, so to like tell someone, the sophomores or freshmen who didn't have a chance to live that moment, and they get to live it on Thursday. Just take it all in. Just be grateful for where you're at. But when the whistle blows, it's a football game. It's the same game that's back at Abbeville.
How would you describe the focus of this team to get to this point, get this opportunity, and try and the 1-2 years ago ended up being a heartbreaker for y'all, and you've had fantastic 2 years since then, 2 seasons since then, came up just a little bit short last year. But in terms of the way that y'all approach this and how much of a goal this specific opportunity was, how would you kind of tell folks about just the way that this program has been geared to this moment for really a couple of years now?
Yeah, I mean, well, we approached this, back in May. When we just started, when we started workouts, stuff like that. Just like doing every single rep, finishing through the line, just the little stuff. I think that's really what got us here. Everybody does the big stuff, everybody makes the plays, on Friday nights, but it's what you do Monday through Thursday that, that improve for the playoffs. So I think that's, the biggest preparation that we do is we're really prepared for, whatever comes from Monday through Thursday.
You talk about making plays on Friday nights. You've obviously had a prolific season, a prolific career. When folks are trying to bottle you up and not let you run the football, you're finding your guys out there in space. When folks are trying to defend against that, you're cutting them up with your legs. When you look at some of the things that you've been able to do, particularly this year for your team, in some of those big moments, big drives, whatever it is, how much was preparing for this game a part of your mentality, or making sure that you guys got back to this opportunity? How much were you thinking about that, even in some of those games of man, this is a step toward this mission and I got to do what I've got to do in every single moment?
Yeah, well, definitely, and sorry, and in the playoffs, every single game I would go into it like this isn't going to be my last game. I want to be playing my last game in the Dome. I wanted this season to be the longest it possibly can, and everyone kind of wanted that on their team. So just stuff like that. Everyone kind of buying into what the coach is talking about, what the players want. Um, but yeah, like just the motivation. There's no better motivation than losing a championship and wanting to get that back. So, that really helped us, push through for summer workouts, for anything that we did football wise to get to where we are now.
The fact that it's this Watch Talk Christian again, the team that was there 2 years ago. How do you guys feel about that? Is that an exciting added piece to that opportunity? Is it something that you guys try to block out and ignore who's on the other side? How do you approach that? Talk about that as a team.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's exciting, but I mean, like we know that they're going to be good. It's 2 years ago. I mean, we don't have the same people on our team that played against them. They don't have the same people on their team that played against us. So it's a new team, two new teams that are playing. So it's exciting, but yeah, just facing this team again. How we lost in the dome last year. Just stuff like that. Yeah, it gets us excited, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter because we still got to focus on today, on to get better today because 2 years ago doesn't really matter.
When you look at the matchup, and I mean, whether it be knowing kind of some of the things that they do, and obviously, just like you mentioned, some personnel has certainly changed on both sides. But in terms of the way that they approach some things, from your perspective, particularly their defense coming after you, or even regardless of who it was going to be, just looking at this final game, what you guys have to do well to be successful. What stands out about this game, where if we have this conversation on a Sunday and say, okay, if Vermilion Catholic does this and this, then we're feeling like we're in a pretty good spot on Thursday. How do you kind of look at what has to go well in this game for you guys to lift that trophy at the end of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to win the preparation battle, and that starts today. Next, I think, we just gotta, coach talks to us about, this game's gonna go into 4 quarters, so I think we got to be ready for that. Ready to be playing in 4 quarters, fully. Another thing, I think we should win the turnover battle. Most teams who win the turnover battle wins the game. So those three things I think are most important to winning.
For your 2025 crew, there, I mean, there's a few of y'all that were big pieces of that team a couple of years ago on the dome and have been leaders throughout this year. How much have y'all talked about, or how much are y'all talking about this week that I mean, this is it. Win, lose, or draw. This is the bow on y'all's fantastic high school careers. Is that something that's kind of hitting you, or are you trying to leave that and not let that become something that y'all are paying too much attention to until after?
Well, I mean, I think when we say that, we're more blessed to say it. Now that like we can actually say this is our last game. The other games you didn't really know, so like we kind of would talk about it, but we didn't want to like sound like we were being too arrogant or we are being we had a high ego. So now to actually say that this is our last high school game. Yeah, we kind of talked Friday and Saturday. All the memories that we had and how amazing it would be to finish off with a win. But win or lose, it's been great years.
What do you want folks, I mean, whether it be that Vermilion Catholic school and that school community and the alumni, or I mean just high school football fans around the state, what do you want to be kind of the legacy that y'all's group leaves? How do you want them, I say them, for us to look back at y'all's run these last few years, and think about y'all's group and what y'all have been able to do, and hopefully able to continue to do in a couple of days when you wrap
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think we want to be known as the best class to come out of VC, and one of the ways is to go to the dome twice. But again, there's teams behind us that won the dome game, so that's our last mission, is to be the best team that came out of VC, and I think right now we have the most wins as a class. So all we need is a championship, and that's kind of what we're looking forward to.
I know y'all are expecting some great support out there in a couple of days. Do you have anything else that you want to say just about this week, or message to the fans, or anything along those lines before I let you get back to it?
Yeah, I mean, just get excited for this game. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. Bring everybody that you got. I can't wait to play. I can't wait to be back over there. It's gonna be a very good game. Yeah, just come show y'all support.
There you go. Again, he's Jonathan Dartez, a senior quarterback for that top seeded and undefeated Vermilion Catholic team, trying to win that first state championship since 2013. He's again had another phenomenal season and a phenomenal career, and folks get one more chance to see him in that uniform against Watchtower Christian on Thursday. So appreciate John for his time. For Louisiana versus all y'all, I'm Jared Roser, and thanks to everyone for tuning in and checking it out. Thanks, man.
Thank you.